What if I told you that right now, as you watch this, entire countries are teetering on the edge of collapse? Not decades from now. Today, economic meltdowns, political chaos, civil unrest, even complete societal breakdowns are unfolding. Some nations are disappearing before our eyes, and the world is barely noticing. Stay with me, because the 10 countries we're about to reveal may shock you and hint at a future none of us are prepared for. Number 1. Haiti. A nation on life support, Haiti has long struggled with poverty, political instability, and natural disasters. But 2025 marks one of its darkest years yet. With no functional government since the 2024 assassination of its interim president, gang violence has swallowed entire cities. Over 80% of Port-au-Prince is now controlled by armed groups. The UN has called it a complete state failure, and aid agencies report famine-level hunger across the island. Haiti is now closer than ever to becoming a completely failed state. Number 2. Sudan. Civil war spiraling out of control. Sudan's civil war, reignited in 2023, has morphed into a full-blown catastrophe by 2025. Rival military factions, the SAF and RSF, are carving up the country like warlords, leaving millions displaced. The recent bombing of Khartoum in early 2025 has shattered any hope for peace talks. Meanwhile, famine and ethnic cleansing are spreading unchecked. International observers warn that Sudan could soon resemble Somalia in the 1990s, a country split into warlord territories. Number 3. Lebanon. The silent collapse. Lebanon's collapse is less dramatic, but just as devastating. Since the 2019 economic crisis, the Lebanese lira has lost 98% of its value. In 2025, basic services like electricity and healthcare have effectively ceased. The government, paralyzed by sectarian infighting, offers no solutions. Over half the population now lives in poverty, and a new wave of mass emigration is emptying the country of its youth and talent. Lebanon is becoming a hollowed-out ghost state. Number 4. Myanmar. A nation lost in darkness. Since the 2021 military coup, Myanmar has spiraled into brutal conflict. In 2025, resistance forces control large rural areas, while the junta clings to the cities through terror and oppression. Mass atrocities, village burnings, and airstrikes against civilians have become routine. The UN has declared Myanmar on the brink of state failure, with humanitarian access almost completely blocked. Meanwhile, the economy has shrunk by nearly 40%, deepening the chaos. Number 5. Venezuela. A slow-motion collapse. You might think Venezuela already collapsed, but in 2025, it continues to sink even lower. Despite slight improvements after the 2023 oil sanctions relief, corruption, hyperinflation, and mass poverty still dominate life. A shocking new report in early 2025 revealed that 80% of hospitals lack even basic supplies. Over 7 million Venezuelans have now fled, creating one of the largest refugee crises in history. President Nicolas Maduro's grip remains, but the country itself is vanishing. Number 6. Yemen. The forgotten war zone. Yemen's civil war may have dropped from the headlines, but the suffering has worsened. The fragile 2022 ceasefire collapsed in late 2024, and by early 2025, intense fighting between Houthi rebels and government forces has reignited. Water shortages, famine, and disease outbreaks are devastating civilians. UNICEF warns that by the end of 2025, half of Yemen's children could face severe malnutrition. Yemen isn't just collapsing, it's dying slowly and painfully. Number 7. Somalia. Terror and starvation in Somalia. Al-Shabaab remains a deadly force, launching weekly attacks even in the capital, Mogadishu. Despite international efforts, the government in 2025 controls little beyond a few city centers. Widespread drought has crippled agriculture, leading to a new wave of famine. Millions are at risk of starvation. UN peacekeepers have started withdrawing, citing unsustainable security risks, leaving Somalia even more vulnerable. It's a country fighting for its very survival. Number 8. Sri Lanka. Economic freefall continues after its economic crash in 2022. Sri Lanka showed signs of stabilization, but by mid-2025, a second debt crisis has exploded. Mass protests erupted again in Colombo after fuel and food prices doubled overnight. The government, paralyzed by political infighting, failed to negotiate new IMF support. Once a thriving island nation, Sri Lanka is now facing mass unemployment, critical shortages, and another wave of youth emigration. Confidence in recovery has all but evaporated. Number 9. Afghanistan. From bad to worse, since the Taliban retook Afghanistan in 2021, the situation has deteriorated year after year. In 2025, the economy has virtually collapsed under sanctions and isolation. Women are banned from education and most work, slashing the country's productive potential. Meanwhile, ISIS-K is gaining ground, launching brutal attacks against Taliban forces and civilians alike. Hunger and desperation dominate daily life, and Afghanistan stands as a grim example of a nation abandoned to chaos. Number 10. Ethiopia. The next regional powder keg, Ethiopia's 2022 peace deal ended the Tigray War, but new conflicts have erupted. In 2025, intense ethnic violence grips the Amhara and Oromia regions. The central government is losing its ability to govern, while food insecurity worsens due to erratic rains and inflation. Analysts now warn Ethiopia could fragment into ethnic states if trends continue. With over 120 million people at risk, Ethiopia's collapse would trigger a humanitarian disaster on an unimaginable scale. When we hear the word collapse, we imagine sudden explosions, dramatic news, or apocalyptic images. But in reality, collapse is slow. It's the daily grind of despair, corruption, hunger, and violence that quietly eats away at a nation until there's nothing left. These 10 countries show us that collapse isn't just possible, it's already happening. And in our interconnected world, their fall could spark ripples that touch all of us. Will the world act, or will we simply watch? Thank you for watching. If you found this video eye-opening, hit the like button and share it. The world needs to know what's happening. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more in-depth content every week. Tell us in the comments, which country on this list surprised you the most? And which country do you think could be next? Stay informed, stay curious. See you in the next video.